Hey, hey. Hey, hey, hey. And Albert. Okay. Let me actually plug in my phone. I know I don't need to, but hey. Hey, I keep on saying hey. Notice, see right there? See right behind me? We're talking about hidden clutter today. Hidden behind doors and in drawers and all sorts of places. And I thought I would let you know that even though I'm a decluttering life coach, I also have hidden stuff. Like I have stuff behind doors and drawers. So that's what we're talking about today. Good morning, all. Christine and Save Home and SoCal Bond Girl and Catherine, good morning. And I realized I forgot to take off my invites, and Katie and Lynn and Christine and Catherine and Vicky and Christine again. I love this. It's just so fun. Robin from New Jersey, nice to see you. What a beautiful day here. PM, nice to see you. Cindy 700 is joining you in. I love this. It's so nice. Yeah, okay. Grace from Texas, nice to see you. Tam. I am in Pennsylvania. I always get a kick out of where people are tuning into because this is the power of the interwebs, is that you and I get to hang out for like the next hour or so through the power of technology. So let's use it for good. And let's help you with your clutter and your stuff. Jana, it's nice to see you. Eveline, so people are filtering in. This is lovely. So in case we haven't met before, Des Moines, Iowa, nice to see you. Tam, very cool. Michigan, yep, we got all sorts of things. Yay! I see a lot of friendly names, and so you may know me. My name is Beth. I just ask you to remember Destination Decluttered. Just remember that, because this is not about me. This is about you, and this is about you getting to your destination decluttered. See how I did that? I am a decluttering life coach. Excuse me, I'm just popping up something on my other screen here, and I'm here to help you. If you are struggling with clutter and stuff, and you just need some structure, some motivation, inspiration, celebration, muppetation, whatever you need in that respect. I am a decluttering life coach. I do coaching one-on-one with people, but I also do these TikTok lives. I also have a really cool mailing list if you want to get into that, but I'll get to that in due time. But I am here with you here on TikTok for the next hour or so to answer your questions about clutter, to basically remind you that it's not as difficult as you think. Thank you, Robin. And it's not as difficult as you think, and that you can do it. Decluttering is just about stuff. It's stuff that's probably accumulated in your home. And yeah, you're going to have to make decisions about them. But the cool thing is you can make decisions about stuff that lead to a life you want. Okay? I love it. Grace is saying, I would like to share with you that I have been working on decluttering my closet and having fun. You guys, this is why we're doing it. To have fun while you're doing it. To make yourself feel better. To not just look better, to have it feel better. And Grace is saying it feels so happy. Now, for those of you who can see the comments going by when you're seeing this live on TikTok, you may be like, why is she why is she repeating these things? It's because I download these TikTok lives and I upload them to Destination Decluttered on YouTube. So those of you who can't hang out for the hour, maybe you're just scrolling by and you're like, oh, this seems interesting, but I can't like focus right now. I can't do it. Don't worry. You can listen to these like a podcast. Look at, boom, I suddenly have a podcast. Just turn off the screen. You got a podcast. And I'm here for you to do that. So if you notice, I do a lot of my coaching and stuff. This is my office. This room used to be a hot mess. I promise I'm going to share some pictures of what this room looked like beforehand, before I decluttered and maintained it for the past 3 or 4 years or so. But you'll notice that I have this closet door open behind me. And this is because we're talking about kind of hidden clutter. Clutter that is behind doors, behind drawers, maybe for example, Jules is saying, I need help organizing my recipes. Maybe your recipes are in a box, like a recipe card box. Listen to me, box, Johnny. A box or like a book or something like that. How you declutter one thing is how you declutter everything. Doesn't that sound easy? It is. It's not that bad, because what you do, you say, like, for example, Jules, I need help organizing my recipes. Hey, what's this? It's a recipe. Do I want to eat that food? Yes. Okay, I'm going to put this in the pile of, yeah, I want to make that recipe. Nah, you know what? I don't want to eat this food. You go through, decide the ones you want, and then figure out a way that you can store them that's going to make them easy for you to access and use. Okay? Kat, you're welcome for my generosity. You know what? Thank you. I enjoy helping people when I can, and I give away a lot for free, and I have paid coaching. And the neat thing is my paid coaching clients allow me to show up for free. So it's a wonderful kind of symbiotic relationship. Grace is saying, yes, you have helped me so much. This is a really neat thing. Grace said earlier, said, it feels so happy, and then I feel so happy. That's what it's about. I'm not here to say, hey, I can show you how to fold a piece of whatever so that it looks good when you take a picture and show it off on Instagram or Pinterest. That's not me. There are people out there who do that. That's cool for them. I am here to help you learn how to get your home and life looking better, because when it's looking better in the right way, you're going to feel better. And when you feel better, you're going to do better. And I love the fact that decluttering gives you space, literal space in your home to do things that you want to do. And it also gives you space in your brain when you declutter your mind, like I teach you how to. When you declutter your mind, when you declutter your home, and when you declutter your schedule, that kind of trifecta. I'm all into like 3 is a magic number. I'm Gen X, so I'm a pop culture, like, is my second language. 3 is a magic number. Your head, your heart, your hands, all of these things. When you feel better, when you think better, you're going to feel better. And when you feel better, you're going to do better. So love that. So that's why I'm here for you. So what are you stuck with? So somebody said recipes, Jules. Basically what you do, everybody, is notice how I said there's like this kind of 4-step thing. Maybe it's like a dance. It's got, 2 steps up, 2 steps to the side. It's like the hustle, the hully-gully. I don't know. Notice that, what is this thing? What do I want it? If I want it, where does it go? If I don't want it, where does it go? Couple of decisions there. The one that is why we're here today is probably the do I want it or not is a decision. So for example, like you may have stuff in a closet that you're like, do I want this or not? I don't know. And then what it is basically you have a discussion between like your gut, your body and your brain have a discussion. Do I want this? Do I not want it? Sometimes your gut will tell you it's okay to let it go. And your brain will say, well, wait a minute, hold up. I paid good money for that. I may fit into that someday. Somebody gave me that and I feel guilty if I let it go. So just notice that you've got thoughts in your head that are helping you hang on to stuff. Okay. And Grace is saying it really does. It helps you live better. Okay. Notice this. Jelly Bee is saying, I'm stuck. Notice the stuck. I love this because stuck, I'm going to help you get started with a storage space filled with family heirlooms. Now, even notice the word heirloom. Heirloom, I bet if I Googled that, and if I did, I'd probably get distracted, so I'm not going to do it right now. But it implies a certain amount of value or, whatever. It's not just junk, it's stuff. So find out, do those heirlooms, do they have value to you? This is the part of the decision-making process, everybody, that you need to be quiet and just listen to the answers in your own head. And sometimes the good thing is the answers aren't in your head. The answers are in your gut. And you could say, nope, don't want any of it, but I got stuck with it. Is it important to somebody else in the family? Family heirlooms? Maybe somebody else wants them. Or could they be important to somebody outside of the family because maybe they're worth some money and somebody collects that type of thing? Okay? Notice this. And if you're stuck with a storage space filled with family heirlooms, before you even start with it, say to yourself, what do I want my destination to be? I don't want it to be there like that all the way. I want maybe my storage space back. And I don't want it to be filled with family heirlooms. Notice that that's the opposite. Okay. Okay. Jay Dums is saying, I feel you, Jelly Bee, trying to sell things is a whole other beast. Notice how Jay Dums is saying that selling is a beast. Pay attention to your words. Everybody. There is like secret messages in the words you use. And when you think selling things is a beast, it's going to end up feeling like it's a beast and you may not want to do it. Now, I think selling stuff for the most part can be a less than fun process unless the price is right, unless the money is there. Then I will put up with doing the selling because I'd rather have the money than the stuff. I know I have some stuff hanging in that closet that I need to sell. Not need to, want to sell. Might want to sell because I'll get some money from it. And just notice that. But it all starts with, do you want this? What is this thing, and do you want it or not? And the answer can be no. You could have wanted it back in the past. If now you don't want it and you don't see yourself wanting it, probably, if you don't want it now, it's highly unlikely you'll want it in the future. But give yourself the option to say, will I use this in the future? And then you can make a decision that feels good to you about how to get it out of your life. Okay. What else do we have here? Okay. Storage spaces. Thank you for sharing your wisdom. Okay. Robin, you're welcome. Robin just said, thank you for sharing your wisdom. So I was able to let go of these things. Okay. Valuable objects that has belonged to a family for several generations. Okay. That is an heirloom. But notice that word value. Something that may be of value to you may not be of value to me, and vice versa. Like, I have so many random things that are valuable to me because they delight me, but they don't even, I couldn't even give, like, I would put them in a free table because nobody's going to spend money on them because they're little tchotchkes, but they mean something. Time is value, you know? Notice this. Notice that what you're hanging on to is making you feel not so good. It's probably making you feel heavy. It's overwhelming you because you've got the whole space. And what's the opposite of that? I want to feel lighter. I don't want to feel overwhelmed. I want to feel in control. You can do that. You can do that by noticing the thoughts. Typically, that you have a thought in your head that makes you feel a certain way in your heart, and then you do a certain thing in your hand. When you're stuck, when you're not going through those family heirlooms, for a variety of reasons, I don't judge them. They're all just thoughts in our heads. And one of them can also be like, I'm just not ready to go through them yet because they remind me of, the people that are past. Okay. Notice the thoughts in your head. They are the things that are steering your car, even though you think you're in charge. If you were really in charge of your car, I like to use the car metaphor. Your life would look, feel, and function exactly like you wanted to. If your life and your home isn't looking and feeling and functioning like you wanted to, you've got some backseat drivers. That's what I call the unhelpful thoughts, because I like to talk about things like I'm the driver, you're the driver, but you've got people in the back seat who are whispering in your ear, don't do that. It's going to be hard. It's going to be tough. You may feel feelings. Stay safe. Avoid it. Ignore. Go buy more stuff. Unhelpful. Unhelpful because it makes you stay stuck, and probably makes you spend money too. All right. Interesting. Who is it? Jody, where is it? Jody K says, so hard to pick what to display. Well, you know what? I have a degree in art history, and I used to work in, I did a number of classes in museum studies. Rotate your displays. I'm an excellent displayer. I used to work in visual merchandising for a number of companies, and I love showing off the stuff that I have. I know how to put it together so it looks good. But I don't really do, so notice you can do that. I mean, I have a couple, not much because I've whittled it down. Like, I have some Halloween decorations that I'm going to pop up somewhere, do a little vignette. And then when it's done, I put it away. So have fun picking what to display, and you can change your displays out. Okay. All right. There we go. Erin D, who has no idea what you're doing. I have no problem releasing things. Awesome. It's just getting the motivation to do it. It's overwhelming. Okay, so notice that the motivation, why are you even doing it? This is what I say. When you're lacking motivation, it's because you're not psyched about why you're doing it. Are you doing it because you have to do it? Are you doing it because you should do it? Or are you doing it because you want to reclaim that space for yourself? Do it in a way that makes you want to do it. Think of the end result that you're going to get when you release all those things, how good it's going to look, how much better you are going to feel, and just hang out in that space for a while. How would it feel if I just didn't have any of this stuff that's weighing me down? That would feel great, huh? That feeling right there, that's why you're going to do it. It's like, I am sick of feeling ugh. I want to feel ah. When it's overwhelming, you're just looking at it too big, too. Everybody, overwhelm is the number one thing. Comes up on every TikTok live, every coaching call, every free Zoom that I do for the people on the mailing list. Overwhelm, too big. Too big, you're looking at it over your head. It's up here. It's over you. the opposite, the way to counteract your overwhelm. Giving you a tool to put in your toolkit. You can use this not just for decluttering, but for everything. That's why I love how I coach, because it applies to so many things. Instead of, when you recognize the word over, you're feeling overwhelmed. Notice how feeling overwhelmed is, and then say, wait a minute, I know what to do. Instead of feeling overwhelmed, I can do these things. Then think of the word down. You can think of this. You can literally take your hands and pull that overwhelm, take some deep breaths, and just pull that overwhelm down below your heart. Take some deep breaths and just do that. You can pull that over down. You can also breathe down into your lungs. 3 deep breaths. 3 is a magic number. Yes, it is. It's a magic number. 3 deep breaths. You can slow down. You can slow down how you talk about it, rabbit. You can also write it down. What's the stuff you're overwhelmed with? It's either, a list of items that you have or some unhelpful thoughts. I'll never get this done. This is going to take forever. There's so much. Then find the opposite, the more helpful thought on the flip side of that thought. When you write it down, you can able to be looking at it. You write it down and you say, there's so much. Well, yeah, there's so much, but I can chip away at it. I can chunk it down. The big one to me is always calming down, getting in the right frame of mind, and then chunking it down. I can chunk it down by saying, I'm going to work in here for 20 minutes. Chunk it down by time. Chunk it down. I can chunk it down to say, I'm only going to do this one layer of clutter, and it's going to be the surface clutter. That's a way of getting started. All these things that I'm telling you, the over to the down, is to have you stop being overwhelmed, like the little interrupting traffic cop hand that I am, and to start doing something else, which is to get in there and to just do something with your stuff. Okay? There we go. B says, I love your morning lives. I will throw away a thing or two when I get ready for work. Every little bit helps. So every little thing. Can you imagine for all the TikTok lives I've done? And you know what you do? When you do it a little bit at a time, what this does is it allows your nervous system to regulate to that level of having less than it did before, and realizing that it's okay, that it's safe to have less than you currently do. What we're going for when we're decluttering is when you feel too much. Notice the too much feeling. Overwhelmed, too much, up here, drowning in it. What we're doing is incrementally lowering the quantity of stuff, that it goes from feeling too much incrementally, and it feels okay, so you go back and do it again until you get to where it feels just right for you. I'm going to do a TikTok video about this, but literally you're going to get a sneak preview. Is the right feeling, there's no right number of items that I could tell you. You need 8 mugs and 7, plates and 2 pairs of shoes. It's not a number, it's a feeling. It's a feeling that says, nope, I feel like I have too much. If you feel like you have too much, you have too much, because your feeling is off. When you feel like this is just the right amount, I feel good about the amount of stuff that I have and what I have, that's great. Anything less, if it gives you that kind of lack feeling, you've gone too much. You're saying, no, anything less than this, I would not work, it wouldn't look or feel or function like I want it to, but just notice that. Okay? Your body is trying to help you get to that better feeling. Allow it to help you by guiding you into what feels like too much and what feels like just right, and practice listening to it. Oh, there we go. Mrs. Grant says, love all this wisdom, just about to purge my whole house to move. It was funny, when you said purge, I'm like, wait a minute, that might be a lot, but if you're moving, what I want to ask you this is, there we go. If you're purging your whole house to move, picture your dream house, picture the house you're moving into, and realize the stuff that you want to bring into it, and realize this is a perfect opportunity to shove off the stuff that doesn't work for you. Okay, there we go. What else do we have here? Yep, there we go. I've been donating at least 1 bag every other week since I started watching you. Slow and steady. Tara, slow and steady wins the race. It really does. It's in so many ways. Y'all, we have examples in our lives of so many things where you don't just, boom, you show up, you're an expert. Boom, it's done. We're not like, I Dream of Jeannie, alas, and we can't just blink it into being. But doing a little bit at a time is a really good habit to get into anywhere you do things. You don't procrastinate and then rush. You do a little bit at a time. You chip away at it so it's not a big deal. Okay. Grace, yeah, I grew up in a cluttered home myself, and it did affect me, ironically now. Not ironically, but would you be surprised that I'm a decluttering life coach? I know how it feels to live in clutter, but I also know how it feels to live uncluttered and organized. And the difference is like so awesome. It's peace of mind. It's not freaking out. Where's this thing? Where'd it go? Oh my God, where's that? I think I lost it. There's something. It's around here somewhere. It's around here somewhere. Literally should be my family's crest. Translate that into Latin, put it on a family crest, and everybody in my family would be like, yep, that's us. It's that, and our stuff expands to fill the space available. So trust me, I mean, my family identifies as people who collect and who clutter. And what I say is, when you get it to a space that it doesn't feel cluttered and overwhelming, it's quiet in your brain, it's quiet in your heart, it's quiet in your home, and you can just delight in the calm and having room in your brain to do things, to having room in your home to do other things. Okay? Do I have any books I recommend about how clutter affects children and marriage? I don't. And that's not to say there aren't any out there, but let me just tell you, it does. How about that? Instead of reading the book, clutter affects your relationships with other people, because there's going to be tension about who picked that up and where does this go when you didn't do your stuff. Decluttering is as far as kids go, freaking out about you can't find anything. Where's my shoe? Where's my permission slip? Where's my hockey glove? Do you even wear gloves when you play hockey? You know what I mean? Can you tell I'm so not sporty? But it does affect people. So knowing that, then if you get control of the clutter, it's going to be better for everybody. Okay, boom, I just saved you from finding a book. Yeah, that 100% explains the shelves behind you. Yeah, completely. I like to have things organized, and actually notice that I have my closet door is strategically opened here to show you that I have, stuff in closets too, but it's organized. But if you've got hidden clutter behind doors and drawers, pulling that out can be enlightening. Okay, enlightening, and notice that you can learn something, but it also will lighten your load. Okay, what else do we have here? Yeah, okay, Erin. See, Erin is saying definitely have the mindset of I have to do it instead of I want to. And how about this, everybody? How about this? Figure out the places where you're saying, I have to do this, I have to do that, I have to do that. And then saying, I want to, with some of these things, like declutter. I want to declutter because it's going to make it, I can transform my home into exactly what I want it to look like. Not exactly, but any of those. I can make it look better than it is right now. But the other thing too is, Erin and everybody else with clutter, this is not even a want to. How about this? I get to do this. I get to do this because I have so much. And I mean that in an abundant way. I have so much that it's more than enough. Notice that too much to the just right feeling, I have more than enough. It's not like I don't have enough. I have more than enough. And how lucky are you to have the problem of more than enough? Now notice, when you have too much, sometimes it can make you feel just as lousy as when you don't have enough. What you're going for is that just right feeling for you. And you may have gotten into the too much because you thought having more would be better. I mean, we live in a capitalist society that wants you to buy things. So of course you're going to be told he who dies with the most toys wins. You know who tells you that? The people selling the toys. Okay, so just notice that. And start to whittle away at your stuff until it starts to feel better. Because when you feel better, you're going to do better. You're going to show up more to do it. And then it gets to be feeling just right. A little bit at a time. Allow your nervous system to be regulated, okay? You're welcome for all the helpful advice. Starting is the hardest. Lulu469, every single day of our lives, we have to go from stuck to started. We have to get out of bed and put the feet on the floor. You know, what's her name? Mel Robbins, 54321. And then I get that song going through my head. Look at that. Chicka-cha, chicka-cha. I got to stop that. But yes, starting is the hardest, but it's the only way you get anywhere. If you want to sit in your parked car, in your driveway, and not go anywhere, sure, don't get started. Do the same old thing. Spin your wheels. But you want more than that, don't you? I know you do. If you're jammed up with clutter, it's just stuff that came from a store, that came from a factory. It's just things. If those things are in the way of your car moving forward, Get out of your car, pick up the stuff, look at it, decide if you want to put it to the side of the road or put it in your trunk. And realize that your trunk is finite. Okay? Okay. Okay. PM is saying, on the journey, then derailed by life, kids and their activities, as life will do. How do you deal with that and not get discouraged? Here's the deal, PM and everybody. This is how I coach. Life happens. You make a plan, and sometimes it works, and sometimes it half works, and sometimes it doesn't work at all, but you go back and you make a plan. That will increase the likelihood that you're going to get that stuff done. Of course, things are going to happen. I mean, we were away the other week, and we were driving home from the grocery store, and we got a flat tire. We didn't expect that. It threw things off. Things happen. You roll with it, and then you get back on track again. Instead of getting derailed, and notice that I was on a rail, and this is the funny thing, derailed is more like a train. You know, I got derailed. You can get back on as soon as things get better. Don't give up. Say, oh, guess what? Yeah, I can't be discouraged because I know life is going to happen. I will say this too. Don't say, well, I don't know, because something could happen. Something could always happen. Make a best guess, a plan of how you want things to go, but be cool with and be flexible with if it doesn't go exactly the way you want it. Get back on the track the next day. You know, like this week, again, we were away 2 weekends ago. we were away 2 weekends ago. We were away this weekend, past weekend. We're going away today. We do a lot of traveling, and I like that, but it does take a physical toll on me. So there are some days where I'm like, oh, I have all of Sunday. I'm going to kick the world's ass, maybe. And then I'm like, you know what? No, I'm going to lay down and recover because I'm exhausted. And then the next day, because I have laid down and filled my tank, the next day I have even more energy versus if I tried to push myself. Okay? There we go. Caitlin Rose is saying, my kiddos are off school today, so we're on a mission to get their rooms decluttered. Here's the thing. Caitlin, everybody, make it fun. Make it not painful. Don't be, your kids are listening to you. They are picking up your vibe. So have fun with this. Make it an enjoyable thing. Consider it's a treasure hunt. Make it your own HGTV show where you're doing a before and after. Take pictures. Put on some music. Take a picture of how messy it looks beforehand, and then afterwards, take a picture of how better it looks afterwards. Allow your kids to make decisions about the stuff they don't want anymore. Get your kids involved in the process. It is a life skill that if we all learned it when we were growing up, none of us would be here on TikTok trying to figure out how to do it at our age. That's okay. So much better to learn it now than not at all. But if you have kiddos, get them started early to realize that decluttering is just a matter of what is this thing, this idea, this person, this object, this opportunity. What is this thing? Do I want it in my life or not? And what a good thing to be able to trust your gut. I have plenty of experiences in my life in the past decades that I would say if I had paid attention to my gut and honored that and said no, I'd like to think I would be in the same situation right now because I freaking love my life. I love my life despite all the stuff that happened in the past. And my life has gotten better and better and better when I said, what do I want in my life? And also what I don't want in my life. And that is clutter-wise and otherwise. And I want you to love your life too. I shouldn't be the only person on the planet loving my life. I have learned how to love my life. The things I'm sharing with you work. So I want to share it because it's so much better. Can you think of how much better the world would be if everybody loved their lives? Okay? Notice that. Do you put dates on your YouTube videos coming from TikTok, says Tara? Yes, I do. And you know what the great thing is that didn't even occur to me for a while. And then somebody said, hey, could you put the date on it? And I was like, okay, cool. Thank you for letting me know that would help you. So yes, I do. I also, with this month of October, I am doing like these, today's supposed to be a themed one about, what did I say? Hidden clutter. That's why my closet door is open as like a reminder of that. This month, I'm doing these themed ones under a certain category of clutter because somebody mentioned that would be helpful for them. So I put the category in it as well. Okay, so when you go to TikTok, you can do that. Okay, let's go over here. Okay, somebody says, and I, hit the wrong button. Boop, there we go. Let me catch up here. Okay, I feel guilty getting rid of stuff. Okay, notice that. You feel guilty. Guilt is a feeling. Notice what the feeling is. I feel like I feel like I can't let go of this thing. Notice the guilt is actually a thought in your head. There's a sentence in your head that's causing you to feel the guilt. Because if you didn't hear that sentence in your head, you wouldn't feel the feelings. It would just be another coffee cup. You could just let it go. No, there's a story behind that thing. You can't let that go because there's a story in your head that is discouraging you from letting it go. Notice that. Okay, just notice that, and notice that there is a better, more helpful thought that will help you release that. Okay. Ooh, I got a whole bunch of people here. I'm going to try to catch up here. All right, here we go. So Jeannie Ola says, just got rid of a sofa that was so irritating for so long. Removing it has been amazing. Jeannie, I love the fact that you use that word irritation, because irritation, people, is a clue from your body that something's not working for you. There's some friction there. There's a bit of tension. Something's not working. It's like, as I like to say to my clients, it's like having a pebble in your shoe. Or, it's like when you're driving your car and you've got like a rock, like a pebble or something stuck in the car wheel that goes gaga, 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 gaga. That's irritating. And the only way you're going to stop that irritation is to stop and do something to get that, rock out of the wheel of your car, to get the rock out of your shoe, to get the cranky pants off. Whatever it is. So notice the things that irritate you, and I want to empower you. You can do something about the things in your home that irritate you. Maybe not all of them. I know somebody's going to say, yeah, but whatever. 90% of the stuff that irritates in your home, I bet you could do something to make it better. And notice it. Removing it has been amazing. Notice that Jeannie put up with the irritation of that sofa for so long, she says. And removing it has been amazing. The sooner you remove the irritations, the more pleasant it's going to be, right? Okay, there we go. Sherry LaRue is saying, we are moving to a new city. I want to get rid of all of my old stuff. Go for it. Go for it. Who's stopping you? If you have the money to decorate and stuff like that, by all means. And you don't need as much as you think you do. I would say this, though. I bet you have some stuff that you love. Bring the stuff you love. Leave the stuff that you don't like or just is kind of meh. Leave that behind and start afresh. Okay? Here. There we go. Somebody just said, and I missed the original thing, lists are wonderful. Lists are your friends, people. Lists are your thoughts and your thoughts in your head down on paper so you can look at them. When you can look at them and they don't disappear, you don't forget them, you are able to take action on them. I guess I've always been a mad list maker. I wouldn't remember this except a friend of mine who I've known since junior high says, remember that time we went up to Vermont in high school and you had a list of things to do? I don't remember it, but she does. And I'm like, oh, I guess I must have been taking lists a long time. Okay. Marissa is saying it's suffocating. It feels suffocating to live in clutter. The opposite of that is when you don't live in clutter, it's so much easier to breathe. Notice the opposites. Play with the opposites. Other people are the clutter. All right, if other people are the clutter, maybe you can declutter some of the people that you don't want in your life. Okay? Coffee Lover just got rid of 2 impossible boxes. Thank you. You know what? No, thank you. I mean, you're welcome. But then check it out. You previously thought those boxes were impossible, but guess what? I didn't clean out those boxes for you. You did. So check you out. You cleaned out those boxes that your brain had previously told you were impossible, so you didn't do it. Something happened. Maybe it was showing up on one of my TikTok lives. Maybe it was joining my mailing list. I don't know. You changed the way you thought about it, which changed the way you feel about it, and then it allowed you to get rid of 2 boxes that became possible boxes. There we go. Somebody's like, how did you do that? What made them? Yeah, Grace just said, what made them impossible and how did you do it? Holiday decorations, platters, and entertaining items. I want to purge it all. Go for it. I have a lot of, you saw my dishware TikTok video. I had a lot of that stuff. I have far fewer items than I used to. I still probably have, I could probably cull out so many, but I'm at a level that I have the right amount for me. That I know what I have, that I'm not paralyzed when I'm trying to figure out what chip and dip. I used to be paralyzed. Should I use this chip and dip or that chip and dip or this chip and dip? I had like 5 or 6 cool vintage ones. Now when I've narrowed it down to 1, if I ever do a chip and dip, I just put it in that one. That's my brain cells saved. That's my energy saved. That's my time saved. But I have a level of stuff that's right for me that fits in the spaces that I have, so it looks good and it feels good. I know immediately where things are and I can find them, and then when I go to put them away, there they are. There we go. All right, I get to do this. Yeah. Okay, what else do we have? I'm catching up on stuff. Okay. I have more than enough, even helping me to clean up when I feel overwhelmed. Yes, I have more than enough. We do. And the thing is that just right feeling is pretty damn good. Okay. Plan to plan. You Zoom on scheduling and blocking. Oh, cool. My Zoom on scheduling and time blocking has helped loads. Cool. So, Catherine, thank you for mentioning that. I just want to mention to anybody who is not on the Destination Decluttered email mailing list, it is free, it is simple, and it really gives you a lot of bang for your buck. This is the way that you get invited to. I do a Zoom, a free Zoom call, group Zoom call, just for the people on the email mailing list. You get on it by going to destinationdecluttered.com/join, putting in your email address, and then promising you're not a robot, hitting submit. Boom, you're on the list. You get a free habit tracker. I use it myself. Here's mine. You get a free habit tracker PDF attached, and then you get first dibs on everything. You get first dibs on one-on-one coaching. You get first dibs on consults. You get, if I decide to do a workshop, like I did a workshop on scheduling and time blocking that Catherine is saying has helped loads. And just notice this stuff. Okay? Yeah, self-care is key. You cannot pour from an empty cup. When you feel better, you will do better. And when you feel better and do better, you'll make the world a better place, not just for you, but for people. It has a positive ripple effect. Okay? Okay, somebody is mentioning, and I skipped on, so I missed something, but somebody said, what ifs are tough. But what if you keep it off and never need them? Yeah. Does it bring me joy? Yeah. Okay, notice all this good stuff that's coming up. There we go. Katie is a great one. I've quit buying stuff that I might do something with. Yes. I only shop to solve problems. If I need some food, because we are running out of food, I will go buy food, but not just in case or maybe someday, because then I may never get to it. Notice the lack of energy behind that. Okay. All right, here, I'm going to back up a little bit. I love it. Grace says, the more I declutter, the wiser I get when I go shopping. Isn't that cool? Ms. Crentis, hey, nice to see you, is suggesting to Heather, try body doubling. If you have ADHD, body doubling is great. Just, have somebody who's hanging out. Maybe they're decluttering the same time you are, Okay, here's the thing. Heather is saying, how do you declutter when you're afraid? Notice the fear. You may need something later and you don't have the funds to replace it. So notice that there may be some things that you're okay. Clutter is that you define your own clutter. If you feel like you may need it in the future and you don't want to let go of it now, just notice that. But then get curious. When's the last time I used this in the past? If I haven't used it now, if I'm thinking I should get rid of it, there's part of me that's saying it's okay to let this go. Pay attention to that. The fear, notice this. Fear is going to keep you hanging on to stuff. Love is going to allow you to recognize the things you truly enjoy and want in your life and then release the rest. Fear is on one side keeping you stuck and hanging on to stuff. Old ideas, old habits, stuff that you don't want. It keeps you stuck in the mud. On the other side of this dividing line, when you feel aligned with yourself, and not to get all like Zen or whatever, but there's like pretend there's a dividing line. On the one side, pretend you're looking at a road. You've got mud on one side, fear, you're stuck in the mud, you're spinning your wheels, you stay stuck. On the other side, there's a little divido right here between the mud and the tarmac of where it's paved, and the paved in the direction that you want to go to. My job with you is to help you see that there are tools that you can get to get yourself out of the mud and onto the tar, driving towards, or asphalt, driving towards what you want. But you're the only one who can do that. The thing that keeps you in the mud typically is unhelpful thoughts that make you feel a fear. And then based on fear, you hang on to stuff. When you realize that may be something that you could borrow from somebody that you may not even need in the future, like case in point, my husband and I have been married for 21 years. We've been together for longer than that. We don't have a blender. We haven't needed one in the past. We don't need one right now. It is highly unlikely we'll need one in the future. Just notice the stuff you think you need and the stuff you don't. Okay? All right. Mary Dreyer is saying, my mother passed away in March and lived with me. I'm having a hard time clearing out her rooms. I am not surprised, Mary. And first of all, let me tell you that my heart goes out to you because that is a tough thing. You are a human being. You guys, this is how I coach. We are not machines. We are not robots. You're not supposed to be like, I should just be able to do this. No, you're going to feel feelings. And especially with that layer of clutter that I call sentimental clutter. Sentimental clutter is the stuff that tells you stories. The 3 levels of clutter, just to be clear, are surface, stored, and sentimental. Notice when I say sentimental, I'm putting my hands on my heart, because this is where you feel the stories from your sentimental clutter. When you look at that stuff, it makes you feel a feeling about your mom, and you may still be feeling kind of raw and sad and cryy because she's gone. That's okay. Find a time where it feels right to you to even start that, and don't do it all at once. Do it a little bit at a time. Even going into her rooms, you could start with surface clutter. You know, some of the stuff that doesn't hold sentimental memories, except for the fact that it was something your mom used. You know, get yourself used to making decisions to decrease the amount of stuff, and notice that it feels okay when you do it. Then when you settle on that kind of level of neurological, when you feel good in your nervous system that way, then you can probably go back and do another sweep. And then you feel a little bit better. And then you feel you can do another sweep and you feel better. But let me just let you know, because I've been on this journey with so many people, including myself, that the sentimental clutter is the stuff that is going to take the most energy, and it'll take the most time to make the fewest decisions, because you need to listen to the stories and process them before you come to a decision of, do I really want to keep this or not? So just know that you're not going to be flying down the highway when you're making decisions on sentimental items. That's why I always start my clients with working on surface and stored, so that your place is looking and feeling good. 90% of it is. And then when you've gotten the practice of answering those questions of, what is this? Do I want it or not? Where does it go? You have so much practice on that you're better at that. And you can make a better decision about the sentimental. But treat yourself like a human being. Everybody, every day, treat yourself like a human, like you are. You're going to have days that are busy. You're going to have days that are empty. Your calendar's empty. You're going to have days where you have energy, and then next day, maybe not so much, but the next day you do. It's like, what do I want to say? It's like standing on a boat. Every day is a little bit different, but if you realize that this is what life is, it's a little bit here, it's a little bit there, you're not like it's totally blocked off like you're in a machine. That you can honor your humanity, your humanness. Treat yourself well, because when you're tired, if you get rest, you're going to feel better versus trying to push yourself. Okay? Lily Billy is saying, how do I decide where to donate to? You Google what's around you, and you find a place that feels good to you. I have, if you Google places, maybe it's a place that's conveniently located. Maybe it's a place that you like what their mission is. Don't try to find the perfect place. If the perfect place is easy, then go for it. But if you're spending too much time trying to find the perfect place to donate stuff, you are spending time doing stuff that you could be doing other things. Okay? There we go. What else do we have? I love it. Somebody's making life there easier. My husband and I have just started to purge stuff. Oh, there you go. Pretty Patty. I have so many kitchen gadgets. It's just me. Notice the ones you don't use. Notice the ones that never get in the sink or the dishwasher because you never use them. And then ask yourself, am I really going to use this? And maybe you used it in the past, but right now and in the future, maybe not, because maybe they didn't work so well. Okay? I love it. Jennifer Hunt is saying, I have a ton of Christmas villages. It's a pain to put up, and they take up a whole closet to store. Okay, notice what you're saying there. This is a pain to put these things up, and it's taken up a whole closet that I could use something else. Notice that is your MO with that stuff. You're saying, but I want to make good memories for my grandchildren. What do I think I should do? What I would offer to you, and I know I'm catching up on some things here because there's so many, what do I want to say? There's so many questions and comments, is there are other ways you can make good memories with your grandkids. Yeah, you can make wonderful memories. And do you want them to remember you being aggravated about these villages? Or do you want them to remember you as a loving, non-aggravated grandma? Just saying, Notice the I might need it someday, says Pretty Patty. Just get curious about that, you guys. If you might need it someday, put a timestamp on this. Get a piece of painter's tape. Say use by, I don't know, what day's today? Friday, October 13th. Ooh. Okay. October, November, December, January, February, March, April. How about this? Use by April 13th. Use it by tax day. And if you don't use it, Then reconsider, do I really need this? Do I really want this? Make a plan to use the things you might use. Okay? There we go. Heather is saying for ADHD, what about how to organize for an ADHD-friendly home? Yeah, definitely, what do I want to say? Don't just randomly put stuff away. Put things away in a place that makes sense to your brain. Also, while I know many people with ADHD who say I need to have it out of sight, out of mind, I want you to get curious about your own home and say, where is there evidence where I've put something away and I know where it is, so I know where to get it, so everything doesn't need to be all over the place. The thing I want to say is, Heather, and everybody, find a system that works for you and how your brain works and how your life is and your energy level and your age and your situation. Find a solution that works with you as opposed to against you. And that's why I love doing my decluttering one-on-one coaching. I do that on one-on-one on Zoom for people. I do a 10-week package. It's my paid coaching, and I love it. It allows me to help you create a solution specifically addressing where you're jammed up. If you're interested in that, get on the mailing list. Then you get consultations. Like, it just works that way. Okay. DestinationDecluttered.com/join. You can do that. Notice this. Okay. Here's this. Karma's a bitch. I hoard memories and possibilities of the person I want to be. And you got a little heartbreak thing there. Okay. Let me ask you this. Karma's a bitch. Become the person you want to be. You have all this evidence of who you want to be. Do some stuff to get you closer to being that person. You can also change your mind and decide you don't want to be that. You thought you wanted to be that person, and now you're just not that person, and that's okay. Trust me, I've reinvented myself a bunch of times. We all evolve. Things change. Okay, Pretty Patty is saying, I buy too much food. Notice that. Next time you go grocery shopping, next time you think you need to go grocery shopping in your own pantry. Okay? Notice that. Notice the habits you have. Become your own traffic cop and say, wait, I need to stop that habit, and I'm going to start doing another one. I'm going to stop buying like I used to. Now, a lot of us, I will say this, as I coach, we are all totally affected by what happened in 2020 with the lockdown because of COVID. So many of us have habits that are left over from that. Many of us have habits of, shopping because it was such a bargain, so I bought 5 boxes of spaghetti even though I'm trying to cut down on my carbs. But it was so cheap, Notice the habits you have that get you decluttered, that get you cluttered. Just notice them and you can change those. When you notice it, you say, aha, noticed, and then put the rest of your hand up and say, I'm going to stop that. Aha, to stop. And then you say, what can I do differently to stop that habit and start a new one? Right at that juncture, like that fork in the road. Okay, here we have. It's taking me years to get rid of the sentimental stuff, says Pretty Patty. Yes, the sentimental stuff will take the longest. And things may take years, but that's okay, because the more that you cull out, the more that your home is improved. And you're not also, sometimes you can't make these decisions all at once, but you can start, and you can start with surface and then stored and go to sentimental. There we go. What if you're a visual, visceral memory kind of person, so a lot of inanimate objects turn sentimental? That's awesome. I have a bunch of random objects here that are kind of sentimental to me. Keep the ones you love and be okay with getting, and then, put them someplace where you enjoy it. You get to decide what's in your house and what's not me. So if they're important to you, here's an offer. Think about this. Your gut, your body, your torso here, think of it as a traffic light. Except for this, the green is at the top and the red is at the bottom. Green is the stuff you love. Keep the stuff that you love, that works well for you, that tells you good stories, that brings you delight. The stuff you don't like, the red, is like your body does all the time. Your body excretes what it doesn't want, if you know what I'm saying. So notice the stuff that you don't want and they can easily get rid of. Pretend that's the trash, that's the recycles, the stuff that doesn't fit, the stuff that it's really easy to make a decision to let it go. Notice that the yellow in the middle, the yellow light is, should I stay or should I go now? Should I speed up and go through that light while it's still green, in case, speed up, or should I slow down? Notice that you've got that decision. It's almost turning yellow. Can I make it through that before it turns red? Notice that friction in you and figure out the stuff that causes you friction. And that's when you have a conversation with your thoughts in your head. Why am I hanging on to this? Does this make me feel good, or does this add to my clutter? And only you can have those answers. All right, there we go. Somebody said you are the best with analogies. I love analogies because that's how my brain works. Here's the funny thing. Angela Marie, thank you for saying that. When I started realizing I needed some help with my life coaching, like as a person who needed some life coaching, as a person who could benefit from some coaching, what I realized was that there were people out there who had good ideas, but the way they wrote them, I had to literally like translate what they were saying from the jargon and the highfalutin words that they were using into something that I could understand. As soon as I understand it, and I was like, oh, that's what they mean. And I was like, oh, but that was such an effort. So I made a promise to myself that when I was helping people, I would speak in the clearest, most simple, easy to understand language that I have. And to me, I love analogies because it allows you to rely on something you already know how to do. My favorite one is talking about driving a car. So many driving analogies. You are the one in control. You can steer wherever you want. You can slam on the brakes. Is your gas tank empty? Do you know where you're going? Are you excited about where you want to go? So many of those things. Find a way that this stuff makes sense to your brain, and it might encourage you to do some stuff. Okay. Yep. Somebody says reach out to women's shelters to donate. They need everything. I've got a bag myself going for that. Clearance and sale items are so tempting to buy, but those things that aren't used. Yeah, you know what? Again, notice who's trying to get you to buy these things. This is the stores that make money off of you. You know? Butterfly is saying, I'm in the process of moving. What do I do with my kids' stuff? They don't use it. Donate it somewhere. If they don't use it, yeah, write it off as a tax donation someplace. There we go. I love it. Lulu 469 is for ADHD. Set a time limit for when you go through your piles that we do, not just sit there. Yes, set your timer on your phone. Your timer on your phone is your friend because that will allow you to get started and say, I'm only going to do this for 10 minutes. It's like being on the treadmill. Anybody ever, when you're on the treadmill, like if you're walking or running, they are looking at the clock all the time? I am, because I don't enjoy it. I just want it to end. But when I gave myself an end date, I'm like, I can do this for 10 minutes. As soon as the 10 minutes is over with decluttering, you then have an option. If you've gotten like, oh, this isn't so bad and I have the time, I can keep up. But you can also say, that's all right. I did 10 minutes and I can show up another day. Okay. Shalele is a shopping addict for craft supplies. That's okay. Use the supplies. Play with your toys, people. This is what I would say to my dad. I grew up in a collector family, and there was all that kind of acquisition. You gotta play with your toys. Use the things that you bought. Create the crafts. Don't just keep on buying them. Eat the foods. Wear the clothes. Do the puzzles. Read the book. Listen to the record. I don't know. What else do you have around your house that you're not using that you say, oh, I'm going to do that someday? And then you still go out and acquire some more. Again, stop the insanity. Stop the shopping and start the playing with your stuff. There we go. We've started buying what we need when we want to make a certain recipe. I know that won't work all the time. Oh, there somebody else says craft overload. What about big stuff like a piano? Can't donate or sell because no one wants it? You might have to call the junk man. Say if somebody wants it for free. You know, I will say this. My husband is a musician, and we pretty much got a piano for free because nobody wants them anymore because they are too heavy. They are an outmoded way of doing things that now everybody's just got portable keyboards that are just good. There are some items that have outlived their importance to people. They are no longer valuable to anybody, except if they're like, a Steinway or something. All right. What do we have? Oh, Heather says, I'm so grateful to come over my live. Where do we go? All right. So, hey, Jesse is saying, what name do I call you? You can call me Beth, but just call me. You doesn't have to call me Ray. You don't have to call me Jay. Destination Decluttered. Just remember that because it's going to remind you every time. My name doesn't matter. Destination Decluttered reminds you to say, where am I headed? What is my destination decluttered? What does my home look like when it's decluttered? How excited am I to get there? Notice that. Okay. Oh, yes. Or Catherine Maud Betty. Yes, that's one of the people that kind of transformed myself into and then kind of out of right now. I used to write books about retro road map and retro road tripping and things like that. That's why I use the driving and road tripping metaphor all the time. Okay, so notice this. All right, notice this, and excuse me. And yes, the analogy of a journey and a destination really helped me. This is Kate in Texas, and I want to expand upon that because that is really powerful. And normally, see, I typically don't have my closet hanging out here, but we were supposed to be talking about hidden clutter. So I've got stuff in my closet here. You know, you do too. It's okay. That's why we have doors and drawers. But what I want to do is I'm going to shift this right now and say, you are here on a journey in your life. You got here doing certain things, buying certain things with certain habits. You want to be here though. What is your destination decluttered? It's like a road map. It's like a road trip. Get excited about where you're driving because you're going to need to do some things to get from here to there. You're going to need to show up when you're tired. You're going to need to show up when the road is not as easy, when it's raining out. But you're going to have days where you just fly down the highway and it's easier. And the more you show up on the road, every day that you show up and you do a little bit more of your decluttering, the closer you are to just being decluttered. And pairing the decreasing of your items, the decluttering, with changing your habits that got you decluttered or that got you cluttered is the magic formula so that you never have to do a massive decluttering again. Okay? There we go. Jesse just said, I just got a storage unit to move things to so I can spend a day just organizing a dedicated space. Awesome. Rock on with your bad self. That's great. Make decisions about what do I want and what do I not want and act accordingly. I love it. Chevy is saying, I donate lots to schools for plays, costumes, and props. Afraid because each accomplishment gives me another project. You know what? The projects will, yes, the projects will decrease. And you will have time to spend on anything you want. Okay? There we go. Kate in Texas says, I was really at a stop sign, stuck after retiring and moving my mom. This has helped me to move. I love that. Thank you for sharing that, Kate, because that encourages. Notice when we feel encouraged. If Kate did it, I can do it. If I did it, you can do it. We are all just humans on this planet trying to figure out how to live our lives better before we die. I'd say, am I right? But I know I'm right. But yes, okay? So notice that. We are here for a short amount of time. We all get to decide what we do, what we think, what we feel, what all these things. Why not make your decisions that are going to lead you to what you want your life to look and feel and function like? You know, the more you do that, it just increases. Like, I love this because I say to people, write down your destination. Like if you and I were doing a coaching session, very first session we'd have is be all about you and what your destination is. So today I'm here for like 2 minutes and then I go live a life that I love, and I hope you do too. But I will say is this, what do you want in your life? Write it down like it's a shopping list. And when you write it down, you're that much closer to getting it. Or at least saying, okay, if that's what I want, what can I do today to get me closer to it? Like I'm here in, this is always my analogy. I'm here in where the hell am I? I'm in Pennsylvania and I want to get to Palm Springs, California on a road trip. It's going to take me a while to drive there, but what can I do today? Well, I have 2 hours. I could drive 2 hours from here and then get a hotel room and then drive another 2 hours and so on and so on. I would get there. That's just an analogy, though I will say I am planning on going to Palm Springs because it's one of my favorite places. So I'm making that happen. But think about what you can do today to make your home and life feel and look and function more like you want it to and less like it does now. And I really think that one of the things, I'll just give you this, getting onto the Destination Decluttered email mailing list is a great thing. Because like today, this is my last TikTok live for this week. If you notice, when you go to follow my page, if you haven't followed it yet, that would be awesome if you could. I just like seeing the numbers change. It's kind of fun. At the top of my TikTok page, on the top videos, there's always one that's pinned that says TikTok live schedule for whatever time span. I have TikTok lives next week as well, but I don't have one in the middle of the week that I normally would do in the evening because I'm doing the members only email Zoom call, which is so much more fun than a TikTok because we get to talk and we get to see each other. We don't just get to tick, we get to talk. I got to work on that. but it's a lot of fun. So if you want to be invited to the Destination Decluttered TikTok Live, not just, or excuse me, what do you call it? Zoom, the group Zoom. Sorry, I can tell I'm getting tired. DestinationDecluttered.com/join. Hop on the mailing list. It's happening next week, and it happens every month. Once you're on the mailing list, I don't spam you. I just send you occasionally emails with good information, like, hey, before anybody else knows, here's some consultations that nobody else knows about. You get first dibs. Hey, guess what? I'm going to put these TikTok lives with these. This is where I'm going to do TikTok lives. I haven't even posted on TikTok, but you get first dibs. Hey, guess what? I decided to do a free workshop where we're going to talk about breeze blocking and making time in your head and your schedule and your home for the things that are important to you. I'm thinking of doing maybe a group coaching thing. What do you guys think of it? Like, everybody who wants to become kind of front of the line, it all starts with hopping on the Destination Decluttered email mailing list. Now, if you just want to bypass that and immediately you think, oh man, I need a one-on-one coach and she sounds good, she can help me with what I'm stuck with, just go to my website, destinationdecluttered.com, and then you sign up for a consultation by checking on the calendar, and we can make that happen as well. Okay, there we go. I love it. Okay, let me, a few more things here and I got to sign off. When I get you while scrolling, I know it's time to clean. Yeah, a little Pavlov's dog response. Nothing wrong with that, you know. Yes, timers work wonderfully. I love that people are giving ideas for pianos. Yep, just find it. There we go. All right, membership Zoom. Yes, thank you. Thank you, PM. I appreciate it. You're like our cheerleader. Go team. Go team. You can do it. Doesn't it just feel better with, instead of talking down and you can't do it, that you have a voice and you got somebody who is in there with 100% belief that you can do it? Because I do 100% believe. I don't even know you, but I know you can do this, because it's not, you can do it. You've done hard things and it's worth it. Sometimes I show up until you believe you can do it yourself. That's really what one-on-one coaching does. And even when I show up at these TikTok lives, I show up in what I call your co-pilot energy. You have your backseat drivers. They're the scared little kids in the back that say, don't change. I am the loving person in the passenger seat next to you saying, you can do this. Where do you want to go? I can help you get there. And you have me as the external version of that. But the cool thing is you have that voice inside you too. It just, sometimes it's hard to hear it because your backseat drivers are talking all the time about you can't do it, it's going to be hard, it's going to be difficult, and you don't have enough time, yada, yada, shh. Once you quiet them down, remember all the downs? Calm down, quiet down, breathe down, moving your body, putting your hands here, calming down, writing it down, chunking it down. Once you calm down your body and your brain and all that good stuff and write it down, that's when you will allow your own co-pilot to speak up and say, I know what we can do. Why don't we get together those clothes and put them in a bag and donate them somewhere? How about we carve out some time tomorrow on a Saturday? I don't know, not the whole day because I want to have fun, but why don't we work on that room that's been really bugging you? Why don't we go into the room and see what's bugging you and then solve for some of those things that are bugging you? All right? So just notice it. Okay, Chevy, deep breaths. There we go. And everybody, I've gone past my schedule here and I have stuff to do. I know you do too. Now I feel like I'm at the end of the Mr. Rogers thing. You know, there'll be things you want to talk about. I will too. Whatever. And now I'm going to go for the good night, everybody, like the end of the Donnie and Marie show. Okay? Everybody, always a pleasure. I will see you next week. I will give you a clue here. Monday, October 16th. 3 in the afternoon, Eastern time. I'm East Coast, so that's my time. You do you as far as making, if you're in a wrong time zone, different time zone. Nothing wrong with your time zone. Also, if you like what I hear, I will. If you follow my page, you will be told when I go live. Next week I do go live 3 times, and then after that, we'll see where it goes. Okay. Always a pleasure, friends. I will see you. Have a great weekend. Enjoy whatever you're doing, and seriously, think about what's a little thing you can do today to get from stuck to started, and not just started, but started in the direction of your destination decluttered. Okay. I love it. Grace, you're doing great jobs. I will see you guys soon. Bye.